Hey everybody, it's time for another bookstore run and another In the Wild SK treasure hunt. Let's go inside and see what we can find. It's kind of busy in here today, so I've snuck off to a lesser used alcove to show you what I found. So first, this paperback copy of The Stand, and paperbacks are arguably not very collectible, but this is an interesting piece nonetheless because it is the original 1978 edition of The Stand. So if you find a copy of The Stand with this artwork, it is different than the more commonly now found revised and expanded. So it could be something interesting to pick up for your collection for $3. I'm still not going to be purchasing this one today because I already have something like this in my collection. First hardcover, trade hardcover of The Talisman for $17.50. It is significantly worn, which probably just means that it's well loved and well used. Nothing wrong with that, but definitely not something that I'm going to be picking up today. There's quite a few book club editions in the store today, including this copy of Firestarter. There's also a first edition Firestarter with no jacket, but as you can see, you couldn't buy them both and then put the jacket on the first edition book because it is significantly shorter. But anyway, that's another thing. Also not something I'm currently in the market for, but trade paperback of the Bachman books. The cover is printed a little bit off center, which is just an interesting manufacturing defect. This is it's a first plume omnibus printing, you can see there. And even though it's a paperback, any copy of the Bachman books in any form is going to have some value simply because of the inclusion of Rage, which is why this is priced at $25. And then finally, to kind of go along with this 1978 version of The Stand paperback, there is a 1978 Stand for $20. This is the book club edition. It does have the original jacket artwork, which is kind of cool. Could be interesting for somebody to have as a placeholder on their shelf. Gutter code of U1, so that's a few years after the first.
The first edition has a gutter code of T39. This was actually just a few months after the first, not a few years.
But significant staining, wear to the jacket is not something I'm going to be picking up. But I wanted to point this out. They just use, the reason book club editions are generally not collectible is they just use the worst quality leftover cheap ass paper that they can find. And then this one, like some others that I've seen from the era, actually ends up with stripes in the page block because the quality of the paper, the type of paper used, changes throughout the book, which I just think is just an interesting marker of poor quality. And the binding of the book is also super cheap paper all around. It's not to say it's not a good book, not to say that it's not worth picking up, but it's just illustrative of the difference in quality. Doubleday was not ever known for high quality in the first place, but the book club editions are especially atrocious. Inside the jacket flap, see book club edition there, no price. I mean, that's your dead giveaway. If you needed any other definitive markers to look for, that's your dead giveaway. But anyway, I've had to do this video a little bit differently, so I'm gonna keep looking around and see what else I might be able to find. I don't see any Stephen King in the locking cabinets. There are apparently some high-end Bibles, whatever that means. High-end Bibles, that's kind of funny. I'm at the Swanky Art book locking cases. I've been keeping an eye on this copy of Frankenstein. This is the one illustrated by Bernie Wrightson with an introduction by Stephen King. It's a trade paperback, and I think last time I saw they were asking $200 for it. And I think Centipede is working on a new release of this. So that's interesting. I'd love to flip through it, read the introduction, which I'm sure I could find online. But anyway, I'm not going to be picking that one up today, but I do keep an eye on it. It's another trip to the bookstore where, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, for my finances and my shelf space, I leave empty-handed. And I always feel kind of weird. I have done other videos like this where I don't even post them because it feels like such an anticlimax to, here's all these things. Yeah, and I didn't buy anything, but I didn't really need anything. And there was nothing in there that was better than something that I had to trade out. But it is really interesting. And since I've started these videos and people have left comments, people who live in different parts of the world have left comments about the quality and caliber of their own bookstores and where they live, it does give me a newfound depth of appreciation for, you know, the reality that most days of the week is just some random bookstore in a random city in Midwest America. And any day of the week, I could walk in there and be guaranteed to find some assortment of Stephen King things. And more often than not, find something interesting. And every once in a while, I'll find something truly remarkable. My first editions of Firestarter, Cujo, It, I found at Half Price Books for under $10 a piece. So that's the kind of thing that keeps me coming back. And you know, it's always worth checking in, especially if it's on my way, wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing. But I love having the excuse to go to the bookstore to make these videos because people respond so positively to them. And you might accuse me of using a clickbait thumbnail showing that copy of The Stand, and maybe you're right. It could be a little bit misleading, but I did find a copy of The Stand, and it was interesting. And we talked about what it ended up being, of course. But so I didn't pick that up. But anyway, until next time, thank you as always for your support of the channel, your feedback, your comments. This is a tremendous, Stephen King collecting is a tremendous community that stretches worldwide, and I'm really glad to be a part of it. And I'm glad that you have let me be a part of your life and your day. So until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you later. Bye.